Dr. Radha Iyer, discussing with us the current scenario, the current atmosphere in the startup ecosystem. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Suddenly, the startup ecosystem does not seem to be as gloomy as before. There are news of layoffs, shutdown, etc. So, do you predict a bubble burst in the Indian startup scenario?
So what I'd like to say is that e-commerce startups seem to be having a difficult time. They have been unable to raise the next round of funding for growth of their startups. There are many cases in point to discuss this. One of them is Zomato, Peppertrap, TinyOwl. These are organizations which have had challenges, and they have cut down to a certain extent. The cutting down has been reducing manpower, ensuring that talent is only as much as it's required. Also, what media reports say is that VC funding has reduced considerably. March 2015 saw around 43 deals being funded at $831 million, whereas the same thing in October 2015 has dropped to 24 deals only, and so the value has reduced considerably. Also, what I'd like to say is that more so it seems to be that it is the ideas which are a challenge, and idea validation and ensuring that the ideas are right is what is happening. And the belief is that if the ideas are good, there will be funding, but there certainly seems to be some amount of blip in the ecosystem.
We see business accelerators and incubators, academic institutes playing a very major role in the startup ecosystem. Do you see these institutes taking advantage of the scenario, trying to manage or control these startups, or they are just here for the numbers?
What I'd like to say about the Indian ecosystem, where we have accelerators, we have incubators, and we have academic institutions, I would say that all of them play a role in their own space, and all of them are adding to entrepreneurship. And so there are many examples which have been successful. One of them is Oyo Rooms, which actually came out of the accelerator venture nursery. The other one is a company called VPhrase. They are from Zone Startups, and they also have made it to the Economic Times Power of Ideas 2015 finalists. So what happens is that accelerators and incubators are helpful. They are ensuring that the entrepreneurs don't make mistakes and errors. We have an entrepreneurship on we have a business incubator on campus too, called Riddle, and I think they're doing good work. Academic institutions also do conduct business plan competitions, have panel discussions by entrepreneurs. I think all of them, are some way or the other, they work positively where entrepreneurship is concerned. Organizations like Reliance, which has the accelerator GenNext, I'm sure they too are making progress in ensuring that entrepreneurs are getting what is required.
Layoffs and shutdowns, we also hear a lot of news about Indian startups getting acquired, either by players in the same space or otherwise. So in this atmosphere, do you see many startups waiting to get acquired? Has it now become a part of the strategy?
So what I'd like to say is that I'm sure many of the entrepreneurs start up with the feel that they will get acquired. But my personal belief is that acquisition should happen after you grow a little as an organization. Having said that, that there are many examples of entrepreneurial ventures which have been acquired recently, whether it is Common Floor, which has been acquired by Quicker, or Travelogs, which is acquired by Yatra. Okay, so there are a lot of acquisitions which are happening. Also, I'd like to add that acquisitions typically, one should look at being acquired by an existing Indian company like it is in China, rather than wait for somebody from the West to come and acquire your venture here in India. Yes, I think the mood is that there will be more acquisitions in this space.
In a recent Indian Express conference, we did hear a few prominent professionals raise an issue of having more of Indian ideas with respect to startups rather than trying to replicate models of the West. So, what would be your comment with this regards?
What works in the West may not necessarily work in India. So that's number one. The second is that India is a large country, so every 50 kilometers or so there is a change in culture, there's a change in lifestyle, the way people behave and the way people actually use things also changes. So having said that, the examples that come to mind are in recipe and food delivery. So in that segment we have in India we have Inner Chef and we have iChef.in. Whereas in the West, it was this company called Blue Apron. Blue Apron, I believe, is doing extremely well. Whereas these two, the other two Indian counterparts, are new. So hoping that they'll grow as big and they'll scale as much as they are, as something which is similar in the West. I'd also like to add about a company called Nextable, which just got acquired by Zomato. Now we had in India, table reservations don't happen as much, so people don't reserve tables. So whereas in the West, it is far more relevant. So what happens in the West need not be replicated in India and be successful. So that's my thought on India versus the US.
What all challenges do you see that startups in India face as compared to those in San Francisco or Berlin or London?
So what I'd like to say is that very often in India startups come from engineering colleges, and many of them they have technology but they don't have a marketing experience or they don't have a financial experience. So probably finding co-founders becomes a challenge. The other thing is that many of them stick to their ideas and they're not willing to move away from their ideas, many entrepreneurs. So getting into a business accelerator or an incubator or some kind of a program which will help them clean their ideas and ensure that focus maybe to some parts of the ideas, that will be a big plus. Uh, uh, Additionally, what can go wrong is that startups basically once they start up thinking that they'll get their first customer and their 10th customer and 15th customer. So unless you have a minimum viable product and you have a prototype and you get your customer engagement and learn from that, only then that you can grow. I think these are the typical challenges that startups typically face. Government policies, we have the Startup India, which our Prime Minister has rolled out recently. I'm sure that will aid startups to work better and to probably have products which are commercially viable.
Lecture and I have enjoyed attending your lectures. So, what would be your final word of wisdom to aspiring entrepreneurs?
See, I would say that young have a lot of ideas, and their ideas obviously are different and they are creative. So I would say that the youth should probably look at finding co-founders and ensuring that they have complementary skills. So finding the team is important. The second thing that I'd like to say is that you should not be too worried that if it doesn't work very well. So as a youngster, what I would say is that you should look at trying a hand at entrepreneurship while you're on campus. Pick up something small, try and work that, and then see whether you have learned anything from that, and then that becomes your an addition to what you want to do later. I have a case in point. One of my students, ran a venture on campus. His name is Sambhav. And Sambhav did something on T-shirts, and he learned quite a bit. He made a lot of errors, and he learned quite a bit. So I would say that academic institutions should encourage campus companies and for students to start up.